बिटसॉम यानी कि बिट्स स्कूल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट इज अ न्यू एज ग्लोबल बिजनेस स्कूल जो कि बिट्स पिलानी के कल्चर और विजन पे बनाया गया है. दिस वीडियो इज बीइंग मेड इन कोलैबोरेशन विद बिटसॉम एंड मैंने सोचा कि क्योंकि ये नया बिजनेस स्कूल है, इट विल बी द बेस्ट अगर मैं इनके करंट स्टूडेंट्स को इन्वाइट करूं एंड दे शेयर सम इनसाइट्स विद यू दैट हेल्प यू मेक द राइट चॉइस. बिफोर हियरिंग दोज स्टूडेंट्स, आई वुड लाइक टू शेयर अ लिटिल बिट अबाउट बिटसॉम सो दैट यू गेट एन आइडिया कि इनकी एमबीए आपको क्या ऑफर करती है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, ये जो एमबीए डिग्री है, दिस इज ऑफर्ड बाय बिट्स पिलानी. सो आपके पास जो 55,000 एलम्स हैं बिट्स पिलानी के, उनका नेटवर्क एक्सेसिबल होता है. सेकेंडली, दिस इज अ 2-year एमबीए डिग्री एंड इट इज अ रेजिडेंशियल प्रोग्राम, विच मीन्स कि इनका जो मुंबई का कैंपस है, आप वहां से ये एमबीए डिग्री अटेंड करते हो. एंड क्योंकि ये कैंपस मुंबई में है, इसका सबसे बड़ा बेनिफिट ये रहता है कि यू आर क्लोज टू द कंपनीज एज वेल एज द इंडस्ट्रीज, जो फाइनली आपको प्लेसमेंट में हेल्प करता है. इस एमबीए डिग्री की टोटल 5 स्पेशलाइजेशंस है, यानी कि आप पहले साल में तो सारे के सारे एमबीए सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़ते ही हो, लेकिन सेकंड ईयर में आपको एक स्पेशलाइजेशन चूज करनी होती है आउट ऑफ दीज 5 ऑप्शंस: एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप एंड इनोवेशन, फाइनेंस एंड इन्वेस्टिंग, ई-कॉमर्स एंड डिजिटल लीडरशिप, लीडरशिप एंड स्ट्रैटेजी एंड मार्केटिंग एंड कंज्यूमर इनसाइट्स. अब ये तो बेसिक डेटा हुआ अबाउट द इंस्टीट्यूट, लेकिन अगर मुझे इनके प्लेसमेंट के स्टेटिस्टिक्स बताने हो या फिर कि इवन बैच की प्रोफाइल शेयर करनी हो या कुछ यूनिक डिफरेंशिएटर्स, तो उसके लिए आई विल शेयर कि जब मैंने उन स्टूडेंट से बात की तो उन्होंने क्या रिस्पॉन्स दिया. So thanks, Nilesh. I would first of all like to understand what was your reason of joining Bitsong.
So my reason for Bitsom starts way before I actually started applying to colleges. I've been working in my family business and my own startup well before that. And then over the duration of 3-4 years, I figured that it was time to switch gears. So I started looking for B schools. And the problem for me was that Indian B schools had these two different criteria. The first are some archaic schools which are offering a 2-year program, but they are somewhat redundant to some extent, if I might say it. And then there's another school, basically another group of schools, which are the new age schools, but which offer a shorter stint, like a 1-year program. I was hell bent on doing a 2-year program full time. But then Bitsom came around as an option, and that sounded really interesting because it was giving me the international exposure that I wanted in the form of professors, a new age curriculum itself, and of course the legacy of Bits Pilani. So I believe these three things combined created the perfect base for me to join here. Of course, there were many other elements in the mixes, but primarily this was what made the difference for me.
And I would also like the audience to understand a little bit about Bitsom's batch.
So my batch is 138 people in total. When we talk about freshers, there approximately 30% of the batch is freshers and 70% come with some reasonable degree of work ex.
Okay, and what would be the average age like, if you are aware of that number?
Yeah, the average age is in the ranges of 24 to 25.
Okay, yeah. And also talking about the diversity, how many of the candidates are female candidates? So what's the gender diversity like? And how's the academic diversity, which means how many people from non-engineering backgrounds are there at Bitsong?
So we're doing great on both fronts, I believe. When we talk about gender ratio, it's 65 to 35 male to female, which is really great. And again, when we talk about engineers to non-engineers, it's about the same ratio, 2/3 engineers, while 1/3 come with a non-engineering background. The non-engineering background also ranges from philosophy, psychology, dentists, artists, and many, many other different backgrounds. I believe diversity in terms of qualitative aspect has played perhaps the biggest changer, like the biggest change maker in the learnings that we have, in the experience that we have. And how it happens is that a large part of our curriculums are case discussions. And when we have these diverse perspectives, everyone coming from a different school of thought, everyone coming in with a more diverse perspective, it helps us to build a more empathetic point of view for everything that comes by.
So thanks a lot for sharing these insights, Nilesh. I'm sure it will help the students. So thanks a lot, Rahul, for joining in. As I mentioned that I would really hope for the students to know more about the B School. So be as transparent as you want to be. First of all, let us know what made you join Bitsom.
So at the time I was applying to Bitsom, COVID had just hit, and I told my parents that, hey, I really wanted to go to the US to actually pursue my MBA from there. But my parents were like, okay, here's a new B School, Bitsom. We have seen this, and it brought all the global faculties from all over the universities all over the world to actually in Mumbai to teach you. And since I also like Mumbai as a city. So I was like, okay, I'm getting best of the both worlds here. And another reason why I joined that song was the one-to-one mentorship program. Now, this is something that I guess not all the experienced people can get actually in the companies, a good mentor, which can actually tell them to take what are the right steps that you need to take in the company to actually grow further your career. Bitsom was one place which actually promised that. The PDP program with Dr. Leena Chatterjee. It's this is actually an opportunity to know myself better.
Yeah, so you mentioned about this one-on-one mentorship. I think a lot of
Mm.
people may not know what it is. If you could
Mhm.
help us understand what it was, how it helped you, and what's the idea behind it, that it really helped them.
Sure. So in my one-to-one mentorship program, I was connected via Bitsom to a senior ABG employee, Mr. Gaurav Nanda, who actually helped me uh, see to gain a little more clarity into what I wanted out of my career. So earlier, if I had come, for example, if I had come in with a view to actually get into product management, which is a very fixed mindset view, no one
Correct.
actually really knows before getting into an MBA what they want to get out of an MBA program. So this one-to-one mentorship actually he helped me know what happens in the consulting industry, how it operates, what are the work hours, are you really a good fit for this for this atmosphere, consulting atmosphere? So all of this actually helped me form a view into how I can make my decisions regarding my career.
And
He,
you're
he,
saying this happens with every student, every person has one mentor.
exactly. Every student is mapped to a mentor.
That's amazing. And you also mentioned about the PDP program.
Yes.
What is it exactly, and why do you think it was so important or a considerable reason why you joined Bitsom?
Prior to joining Bitsom, I knew that PDP was a program, personal development program. So I only knew vaguely what it was. That it's okay. It maybe can help me develop my personal awareness or just help me build myself mentally, which I wanted actually. So PDP is a scientifically designed program in which Dr. Leena Chatterjee actually has a set of questionnaires. So all of this actually helps people to build themselves in a better way and be prepared for actually what's outside.
Got it. And the last person that I talked to also mentioned that going to US was a reason. So I think a lot of people are mentioning global exposure as one of the reasons of
Yes.
joining Bitsom. And I would want you to help the viewers understand more about the London Business School immersion program, because that was a highlight that I picked up when I was researching about Bitsom. So what is it, and how does it add value to your lives as a potential manager?
The London Business School, think of it as the perfect capstone course after the first year. So
Okay.
it helps to gain a view into how businesses operate globally. Granted, professors here can come and teach you at Bitstorm how businesses operate, but think of it, London Business School, as getting a new perspective into how global businesses operate. For
Hmm.
example, the first professor, Professor Randall Peterson, actually taught us how mechanics of organizational behavior operate in Saudi or in the China, where he has been to the other countries. You can still get the perspective here, but there are other things to explore as well. So that's where London Business School comes in, because there are so many other professors who can actually teach you something from organizational behavior to creating the perfect pitch statement
Hmm.
for your entrepreneurial venture.
No, this sounds extremely wonderful. I'm surprised that such a program is being offered at a new business school. That's amazing. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing these insights. I'm pretty sure they're going to help someone make the right choice. So thank you for being here. Thank you so much for joining in, Ritika. And like I was mentioning, that your portion would be the portion that everybody would be, listening very attentively to, because I would be asking you some difficult questions about placements and what happens at Bitsong. So before that, let me just ask you the same question that I asked the other two people. What made you join Bitsong? What was your reason of joining Bitsong?
So I think there were majorly three things that attracted me towards joining Bitsong. And first, it started with the Bits legacy and the brand name. The second was the people that were coming together to build it, whether it was our dean, Mr. Ranjan Banerjee, the advisor, Leena Chatterjee ma'am, and the global faculty that was going to teach. So the people who were building it were experienced in the field, they were known in the academia world. And
Correct.
the third was the opportunity to be a part of something new and fresh. The
Correct.
conviction in the end finally came when I interacted with people who were joining with me. they had this similar belief and their profiles were good enough to get into any good B school. But they
Correct.
decided to come to BITSOM. So this is how I made my decision.
If you could talk about the stipends, summer internship stipends, that will give the students a lot of ideas about what is the average or what is the highest package that they can expect out of BITSOM. So if we talk about those summer internship times, what was the average stipend like?
So we have had two seasons of summer internship. In our season, the average stipend was around 1.8 to 1.9, and in this recently completed summer placement season, we had the average of about 2 lakhs. And there
That's
were a
amazing.
variety of good roles in finance, consulting, marketing, Genman, product management.
And if I may ask, do you recall some of the top recruiters during these summer stints?
Yeah, so I think I would just like break it down role wise.
Mhm.
So in consulting, we had Bain, BCG, Carney, ADL. Then among the big fours, we had EY, PwC. Then in the marketing, we had HUL, Nestle, Bajaj Consumer, Pidilite in the from the FMCG sector. Then otherwise, we had Big Basket, Red Bull, Signify. Then for Prodman roles, we had Media.net, More Retail, Optum as the big companies. For Genman role, we had Aditya Birla Group. In the finance, there were like a variety of roles. So we had PEVC firms like Aid Capital, Somerset Capital, Servan Ventures, then Sycomoro for the equity research role. And there was Way to Wealth. For the fintech, we had Yes Bank. So there
Yeah,
was
these
a
are quite like top most companies of their individual sectors. So that's good to know. And how many of the people that sat for summers do you think got the PPO? Because that becomes a very important metric for people.
the people who went into the summer internship and got the PPO, till now the number has been like around 35 to 40.
I would also like to ask one more question. There's this mention of a program that the previous student shared. It was something regarding workplace or corporate readiness. If you could help us understand what it is and how does it help a student?
So we have partnered with organizations like Go Crack It and Harappa, where they come, they help us review our resumes and improve them. They map us to a mentor. Suppose I'm sitting for a marketing role, so they will map me with someone who has worked in the marketing industry. They will take our mock interviews, help us finish our behavioral questions.
I was talking to the previous student, and I did mention this that when a B school is new and is hungry, they go that extra mile to get things done. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. And thank you so much for sharing these inputs. I believe they will surely help someone make the right choice of whether or not to join BITSOM.
So अब ये सुनने के बाद you will have a lot of clarity about the batch profile, about placements as well as about the differentiators. So let us also discuss कि इनकी fee कितनी है and how will you be able to finance it. So the total fee of the 2-year MBA at BITSOM is approximately 26 lakhs और इसको finance करने के लिए they have need based scholarships and they also have loan facility available. अगर आप scholarships के लिए apply करना चाहते हो उसके लिए आपको एक separate letter लिखना पड़ता है and relevant proofs produce करने पड़ते हैं when you are applying. तो understand कि इस program के लिए कौन कौन eligible है. First of all, any graduate or post graduate is eligible for this program if they have taken either of these 3 exams. CAT, GMAT और GRE. इसके अलावा ये आपकी ओवरऑल प्रोफाइल पे देखते हैं एंड दे डू लुक आउट फॉर एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर अचीवमेंट. सो इफ यू हैव देम दे आर श्योरली गोइंग टू हेल्प यू इन द इंटरव्यू. अब इसके लिए एप्लीकेशन का क्या प्रोसेस है? इन टोटल 3 स्टेप्स है. नंबर 1 स्टेप है एक एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म को फिलअप करना जिसका लिंक आपको पिन कमेंट और डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा. सेकेंड स्टेप इज एन इंटरव्यू राउंड जो कि अप्रोक्सीमेटली 35 to 40 मिनट्स का होता है. एंड थर्ड इज अ डिसीजन लेटर जिसमें आपको बताया जाता है कि आपका क्या स्टेटस रहा आफ्टर द इंटरव्यू. इनकी एप्लीकेशंस ऑलरेडी स्टार्ट हो चुकी हैं और उसकी लास्ट डेट है 29th of January. 26th of June से इनकी क्लासेस स्टार्ट हो जाएंगी. तो अगर आप अप्लाई करना चाहते हो तो कैट एग्जाम का रिजल्ट आने के बाद यू कैन डिसाइड एंड यू कैन अप्लाई फॉर द सेम. अगर आप अपनी प्रोफाइल भी इवेलुएट करवाना चाहते हो बाय देयर करंट स्टूडेंट्स तो आप उनके साथ एक स्लॉट बुक कर सकते हो. उसकी डिटेल्स भी आपको पिन कमेंट और डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएंगी. एंड लाइक आई ऑलवेज से किसी भी बिजनेस स्कूल को ज्वाइन करने से पहले उनके करंट स्टूडेंट्स उनके एलुमनाई से बात जरूर किया करो. सो दिस इज अ ग्रेट वे टू डू दैट. उसके अलावा आप लिंक्डइन पे भी उनको रीच आउट कर सकते हो. आई होप दिस वीडियो हेल्प्स यू बिकॉज अब आपके पास वो पॉइंटर्स हैं जिसके बेसिस पे आप उनके करंट स्टूडेंट से बात कर सकते हो. एंड इफ देर इज एनी अदर क्वेश्चन यू वुड वांट मी टू आस्क देयर टीम और देयर करंट स्टूडेंट्स, डू पुट इट इन द कमेंट्स एंड आई विल बी हैप्पी टू डू दैट. ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट गाइस.